Hello, my name is Nell and I have things to say about disability, chronic illness and mental health. I live with all of these things, and in my videos on my channel I talk about them, partly to connect with other people who also live with these things and to let them know they're not doing this alone, but also to reach out to people who have no lived experience of any of this and to hopefully give them a little bit of a peek into the lives of those of us who do. If that sounds like something that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel. Come back every Wednesday when I upload new videos. Let me know what you think of my videos in the comments section, and if you know of somebody who would benefit from one of my videos, please feel free to share it with them. Today I want to talk about the difference between physiotherapists and exercise physiologists and why it's so vitally important to not only know the difference, but know which one is suitable for you. Physiotherapists are essentially for short-term physical needs. Maybe you've had an injury, a sports injury or a work injury. Maybe you are recovering from a surgery. It's essentially things that you need to be getting back on your feet. You have something that is inhibiting you from being the usual healthy, able-bodied person that you usually are. And a physiotherapist can help you do that. They can provide you with an exercise program, prescribe exercises for you. They might be able to administer massages or other, hands-on things. They might be able to give you splints or crutches. They can get a short-term, even if it's 6 months, a short-term program for you to help you get back on your feet. It's about acute, short-term recovery goals to get you as close to your usual way of functioning as possible. Exercise physiologists are more about long-term goals, whether that's long-term illness or injury. It could be chronic illness. It could be a chronic injury that is not going to be recovered from. It could be something like arthritis. It could even be if somebody wants to improve their long-term sports performance or manage mental health in a way that's affecting their physical life. And with exercise physiologists, it's not just about a hands-on approach to how their body functions. They'll often look at your lifestyle. They'll look at your diet. They'll look at your sleep. They'll look at how you arrange your day and help you figure out how that can be rearranged to best meet your physical goals. It's so vitally important to know which one suits you best. Now, too often, people with chronic illness are referred to physiotherapists to meet their needs. And there are some physiotherapists who, when you see them and when you explain your situation, they will treat you as if they are an exercise physiologist, and that is wonderful. But too many physiotherapists don't have an awareness of chronic illness, and that's fine because that's not their wheelhouse. If you go to a physiotherapist, they are expecting to treat you like any of their patients need to be treated because that's what their job is. And I know that 10 years ago when I was in hospital and I was in a wheelchair, a lot of the doctors there saw that I was a 22-year-old in a wheelchair and thought, oh, this person needs to be seen by a physiotherapist because this is a young person who is suddenly in a wheelchair. I was trying to explain over and over again that this was a long time coming, that I had slowly become worse and worse and worse. I didn't know what an exercise physiologist was, but I had explained to them this was a long-term progressive issue. But they linked me up with a physiotherapist who then decided to put me through my paces, so to speak, and put me into an intense exercise regime for a couple of weeks, and it backfired in the sense that I've never walked again. And then once I was out of that, I was then again, when I was with the NDIS and I was asking for physiotherapy because that's what you ask for. When you want physical therapy, you get a physiotherapist. And again, it was come back every week and then we'll slowly build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. And I couldn't do it because that's not the way a chronically ill body works. There is also a condition called post-exertional malaise, which I will try to do a video about it some time, but essentially it means that you're almost allergic to exertion. That if you overexert yourself, your body has a response of just crashing. And so a chronically ill body, if you exert too much, it's not the feel the burn and you can work harder like it does with some bodies where you can push yourself harder and faster in training. It has the opposite effect where pushing yourself too much means that you are less capable of doing more. So when I finally found out what an exercise physiologist was, I thought, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. In the early days of the NDIS, it was very difficult to see an exercise physiologist because they are allied health rather than physiotherapy. Now it's much easier to get the funding as long as you mention it's an exercise physiologist. So I see my exercise physiologist and we talk about my life. He doesn't just sit down and say, okay, we're going to lift some weights and we're going to move your legs like this. And how much did you lift last week? And how many times did you move your legs last week? He says, okay, how are you sleeping? What did you do last week? Did you do anything fun? How did that fun thing affect you? He talks about my whole life. We talk about every aspect of my life. It's a holistic approach because my issues are not going to be solved in 6 to 12 months. We cannot do exercises that will get me back on my feet, that will get me back to where I used to be, because I'm not recovering from an injury. I'm not recovering from surgery. I am dealing with my life. I'm dealing with my body the way it is. So for chronically ill people or for people with ongoing health issues, arthritis, diabetes, leg disorders, foot disorders, muscle disorders, I would highly recommend you see an exercise physiologist. They are trained in the long-term projection. It's about that holistic lifestyle approach, whereas physiotherapists are more for that short-term focused thing of how do we get this body functioning like it used to. Whereas exercise physiologists often know it's not an option anymore. We're not going to get the body functioning like it used to, and that's okay. Let's see how well we can get this body functioning now within the parameters that we have now. So that's the basic rundown of the difference between physiotherapists and exercise physiologists. Physiotherapists are for acute, short-term physical issues, and exercise physiologists are for long-term, drawn-out, new lifestyle issues. And please educate yourself and know the difference and how it affects you and your body. That's all for this one. I like it when I do something educational. I hope it will be helpful. That's all. See you in the next one. All right. Bless.